So here's my 7,500 kilometer review of my 2019 Tao Motor Racing Tbr7. Right now we have 7,598 kilometers on it, so we're almost at 7,600. So the total amount of money I've spent on my Tbr7 is still $1,468. It's pretty stock, I haven't upgraded much, and I'll go over everything I've done to mine. So I still have the stock carburetor. I switched from an 88 to a 110 main jet. I changed the front sprocket to a bigger one. We went from a 15 to a 17. I changed the rear sprocket to a smaller one. We went from a 46 to a 39. I added the Pelican case to the back, and I added the taillight cutoff switch so you can go completely stealth mode. And that's all I've done to mine. I never changed the exhaust, didn't upgrade a lot of stuff that everyone else does. So I'll go over the problems with my Tbr7. We had shipping damage. I'm not going to go into all of that. I made the video on it when I did the unboxing and stuff. It is the wrong year. My receipt says I paid for a 2020 and it's a 2019. From the factory, it had a chain that was too tight and you couldn't ride it with that chain. That's why everyone's damaging their sprockets. The rear chain guard, that little plastic one that went there, that got sucked into the wheel one day just from vibration. And that's really it for problems. I haven't had any major issues with it. It's never left me stranded. These are the things I like most about my Tbr7. It's cheap. Like I said, I spent less than $1,500 on it, so pretty happy about that. It starts every time, it's pretty reliable, it idles good, you can get to a stoplight and let off the throttle, you don't have to hold it. It runs very good. I said that from the start anyways, that the engine was very strong. The weak points are the forks, the frame, the swing arm, stuff like that. It hasn't gotten stuck yet, it does pretty good off-road, even with these street tires compared to the Hawks. I take it in the mud, I'll put some clips in here where I drop it in the trenches, and it drives right out no problem. The things I don't like about the Tbr7, it's very heavy, the welds are bad, it's cheap steel, the kickstart still doesn't work. I've had a couple days where the battery gets low when it's really cold, and that'd be great if the kickstart worked, but it doesn't. So it's surprising because all the scooters that I've had, the Tao Tao scooters, the kickstarts work fine as a backup. So the only parts that have worn down that I had to replace is the chain slider. I replaced that once, and the factory one was a different type of material. I made a video on that, and if you check the link below, you'll see that video and you can order this one. It's a much better material, it's going to last a lot longer. And the rear tire is getting pretty bald at 7,500 kilometers, so we might be able to get to 10,000 kilometers and then have to replace this, but I did notice once it gets this low, the back brake locks up a lot easier and you can skid the tire on the pavement much easier. Not that I want to, but... So I'm still willing to sell it for $2,000 and trying to sell it for $2,000. But I'm pretty happy with the bike overall. It's good for street use. You can take it an hour away at 60 miles an hour the whole time and it's fine. It's reliable, it's not going to blow up. I take good care of my Tbr7, but I don't take really good care of my Tbr7. So the last time I changed the oil was probably when I had that valve cover incident, and I didn't tighten it and spilt oil everywhere, about 4,600 kilometers maybe, 4,800. And now we're at 7,600 and I still haven't changed the Rotella T6. Now if you run T6, it does last a lot longer than the T4, I noticed that. I still recommend buying a name brand dual sport if you can find one for around $2,000, $2,500. It's just gonna last a lot longer than this bike, so that's another reason we're trying to sell it, because how long can it really last? So I do recommend getting a Tbr7 as long as you know what you're getting, and it's not a bike you're gonna do wheelies and jumps with. But if you want to use it to commute, maybe make a couple modifications to it with the sprockets and carb, I wouldn't dump a ton of money into them changing the exhaust and stuff because it's just a waste of time. So if you want to see any of my other Tbr7 videos or the modifications to this bike or the shipping damage and unboxing, I'll put those links below, and then you can always click on the Tbr7 playlist. I'm not sure about this, but I think I put more miles on my Tbr7 in the first year than anyone has on a Hawk or a Tbr7. We might hit 10,000 before mid-February. I think that's when I posted my first videos riding it. So 10,000 kilometers in the first year. Who else has done that on a China bike? Comment down below.
Carry the link with a pack at 93 gas in my backpack. I love my gang and I snap that. Any city get it cracking. I'm on my shit, I ain't lacking. Just caught a case, so I'm masking. White life forever, my caption. I cannot be 50, I keep a 250, I keep a 450 all up in the cut. I'm always 1,000 and bitches be smiling. We fuck up your town and then we loading up.